Tonight we watched The Curse of Chucky. Hey Internet, we're back again with day 4 of the Halloween horror movie marathon thing. You may notice we're inside. That's because we realized that condensation and cold are bad for expensive electronics. But tonight's movie was Curse of Chucky. Behind that ad thing that keeps popping up because fuck Blu-rays. Alright, so what did you think acting-wise?
I
want you to go first, because you've never experienced Chucky.
Yeah, I've never seen any brand of the Chucky movies.
I'll start off by saying that it is actually my long-running personal favorite horror franchise.
Acting wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I think it was more of a script, just the cheesiness of the script. You know, the weird one-liners, and Brad Dourif, you know, he's got that. You know, I like the voice.
Personally, yeah, I love the voice. I think Chucky is like just the ultimate badass enemy in a horror movie. There was a bit of cheesy corniness though from some of the actors. Again, though, it's not necessarily the acting, but the writing. Kind of like you said, it's. I mean, I guess you expect it in a horror movie, especially ones that started back in like the 80s. That's.
Were the other ones in the same kind of?
Yeah, they all.
Like I remember watching like Poltergeist was a big one back then, and a lot of the other horror movies, and they weren't. I don't remember them as being that cheesy.
No, this was more along the lines of like Freddy, or maybe even as far as like Leprechaun, like where the bad guys, they had a sense of humor about it. They were more deranged than just evil.
Sure.
So
I'm not just talking about Chucky. I'm talking about the whole everybody's.
Yeah, the whole atmosphere. Just a lot of the one-liners,
lines are just like
Okay, well, to segue in the next bit, I will say I'll start on the effects. I don't like that Chucky appeared to be CGI in some of the scenes here.
The only time I noticed that was when he was coming down the stairs from the attic. That was really the only time he looked CGI. Other than that, he really looked.
No, most of the other times
he looked
they
practical.
did like they did before, where they had the actual animatronic robot, or they used perspective and a real person to make it look like it was a small person.
The only complaint I have about that is, like you were saying, look, he has teeth now. Like when they switched him, you could tell that something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching a cartoon and the background's all painted except for that one doorway where it's colored in cartoon.
When you see a change, you know something's happening.
Yeah. When Chucky, like, there was one scene where his eyes were all fine, and the next little shot, his eyes were bloodshot and red. You're like, oh, something's happening. In one scene, he had 2 front teeth, and then the next scene, he had a mouthful of teeth.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say the next scene. The very next cut shot.
I will say though, I love that in this movie, as with most of the Chucky movies, they draw it out for a while before you actually hear his voice or see him do anything.
Which, I know I've been ripping into this movie so far, but I enjoyed that. I was actually quite scared, startled, suspense the whole time before Chucky really, revealed himself. You're waiting and you're watching and you're wondering, and they did have some good moments where you're like, oh, that's him, and no, it wasn't him, and just the...
I actually almost wish we wouldn't have watched this one, so I could have you watch the original first, because that one you probably go 2/3 of the movie before you actually see or hear Chucky being Chucky.
Yeah.
It really, they make you wait for it, and the suspense, it improves the atmosphere of the movie. Like it builds.
No, I enjoyed that part. Once Chucky kind of showed up, I was like, he's just like a little doll. I would just kick him a lot. I just keep him away from. I mean, I know she couldn't because she was all wheelchair handicapped. But if it was me and a little, pound-and-a-half little doll.
Yeah, one good soccer kick and you're free.
Yeah.
All right, so the story.
I liked it. I thought it was a decent story. It was a little cheesy, but getting over that, I could tell how it tied into the, without even before you said it, I knew that they were going into, tying into the older movies. I could just tell. I liked that, they had Chucky in the video beforehand.
Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah. Whatever his name is, and then they, then that's Chucky in human form, and.
Yeah, I was a huge fan that
I thought
they did tie it in with the old movies and even mention Andy and the whole origin of Chucky, and even brought him back saying the whole Ade Due Dumbala thing. It was really cool how they tied it together and kept it like continuous. And at the very end, when Jennifer Tilly popped up, that actually was a huge surprise because I had not heard she was in here at all, and they didn't put her in the pre-roll credits. Like, they really kept it a secret right to the end. So that was actually a nice little reveal there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually also very much liked the story. I dig it.
It's the scariest movie
well
we've
done.
seen so far.
Yeah.
Definitely. We're getting there. Day 4. We're getting
I
scarier.
still wouldn't say scary, but I honestly don't expect to find anything
Well, are we
that
doing
actually
our
find
overall
scary,
rating
but
now?
Yeah.
I'd give it 4.5, maybe 5 out of scariness. You know, the whole beginning part, you know, before Chucky really, you know, revealed himself, like I said, it was suspenseful. It was kind of scary, and you're like, ooh, what's going to happen? And once Chucky kind of was out there, and it wasn't scary after that, really. It was more shocking, like, oh, look at what they just showed, you know, the axe in the face.
As far as, like, the scary stuff, yeah, the beginning, it was a lot of, like, jump scares and the cheap startles like that, which, I mean, you get in most horror
There were
movies.
some that didn't get me. There were, I mean, you could get too cheesy with your jump scares.
Yeah,
And
if
this
you
one
do it
did
too much, they
this one
lose
did a
effects,
few
too.
too cheesy ones, like the very end with the grandma in the bag.
Yeah, that was cheesy. But, like, the clown, that
like,
clown in the closet was good. Or when the window pops the second time.
That's the one I liked. I liked the one with the window in the bathroom. That one was a good one.
Yeah,
so
it had some good scares.
it was some good scares. 4.5 out of 10.
Would you
4.5,
say
maybe 5.
overall, just like the movie, just entertainment value 1 to 10?
I'd give it around 5. It's halfway there. Only because it's like the first half of the movie was scary, and the second half. I guess I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
I'd go a little higher. I'd put it above average. I'd say 6.5, maybe 7. Not my favorite as far as the Child's Play movies. The other ones would draw out the suspense a little more. Chucky was even more like intimidating in some of the other ones, but it was still.
And this we
above average. It was a good movie.
We watched the unrated version. There were 2 choices on the Blu-ray, either the regular or the unrated. We chose the unrated, and I guess it's a little more gore or something. Because I was trying to think of like, well, it's nothing that I really haven't seen in movies before. So
yeah, unless they cut a couple of the scenes, like when his jaw got lopped off there.
That's the only one I can really think that was.
I'm thinking, like, I saw Mirrors not too long ago, and the lady tears her face in half, and they don't pan away at all, and that was in the theatrical version.
Yeah.
So, there was no nudity. I mean, there's some swearing, but actually the swearing was toned down as far as Child's Play movies go, too. But one other thing of note I'll mention is the lead actress here, the wheelchair-bound one, is actually Brad Dourif's real-life daughter, which is kind of funny when he's saying terrible things and threatening to kill her. I just find that a little amusing. But yeah, overall, like I said, 6.5, 7. I thought it was good.
It was enjoyable, yeah.
I'm a fan of the whole franchise anyway, except for maybe Seed of Chucky. That was over the top obnoxious. That was just comic relief. It was like the Blade Trinity of the Chucky movies.
He had a kid or something with Jennifer Tilly.
It way worse.
Somehow.
I'm not gonna spoil that one for you, because if I ever get you to watch them all, I want you to be fully taken aback by that.
The absurdity of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a review. We'll see you tomorrow for... The hell movie are we watching tomorrow?
I don't know.
For whatever we watch tomorrow. Have a good night.
Dean! Wait! Dean! 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 Where'd you go, Dean?